How does it look, Cadell?
You're rolling, boo.
But is that too dark?
No.
All right.
You looking fancy, smancy.
Okay, so here we go. Hi, class. How's everybody doing today? Hi, Miss Cadell.
We fine.
Everybody's okay? All right, you do the camera, so don't speak too loud, okay? Because the speaker's right there. Mr. Bob, what's up? All right, thing good? Get a little closer. Come here. Get right up in here.
Chill, man. I don't want the chicks in your next class looking at me.
You're crazy. All right, here we go. IBM. We have another class going on in the background, so I want everybody out there just ignore the sound, okay? Everybody got their doors open, so it's like crosstalk going on. Here we go. IBM Cornell developed a new type of brain-inspired chip. IBM and Cornell University scientists have developed a new kind of processor that they say uses very little power, but can perform computations that even today's supercomputers are unable to do. The prototype True North chip, now this is called a True North chip, which uses an approach called neuromorphic or cognitive computing, utilizes interconnected systems of transistors designed to function much like a brain's neuron. So everybody got that? We spoke about transistors last week, Ms. Cadell. Now keep it quiet in the back for a minute.
All right, sorry.
Yeah. So we spoke. No, come on, that's enough. So we spoke about for real. Now we spoke about transistors last week, right? And vacuum tubes. So a lot of the electronic devices of the past, right? Before like 1950s, 60s, early 60s were made out of tubes, right? So what replaced the tubes, Ms. Cadell?
Transistors.
The transistors, right?
Yeah.
And it was designed by William Shockley, a physicist from MIT, right?
Yes.
So, hold on. Yeah, because a lot of it is, you got to take it outside in a minute because you're not listening to me. Because a lot of it was silicate, right? And silicate is what?
Sand.
Sand. And it's abundant in the universe, right? At least on Earth. All right? So, because these transistors are made of something called semiconductor devices, it's used to transmit current through these devices, so processing of zeros and ones can take place. All right. So now they're looking to move away from that to another level of computerization, which mimics the operation of the human brain. Isn't that what they're talking about, Ms. Cadell? The human brain?
Like a supercomputer.
Well, the human brain, even that they say. So the researcher, so basically it's going to utilize interconnected systems of transistors designed to function much like a brain's neuron. Anybody ever took anatomy, physiology?
Yeah, I did.
So you got the synapses.
Right.
You got
Those spark plugs, the neurons that go.
the dendrites.
Right.
So
That touch the snaps and then it sparks and then you start thinking and all that good stuff.
Exactly. So the brain also uses energy, right?
Yes, sir.
Transistors use energy too. The CPU uses energy. It's measured in what? Milliwatts. Watts. Watts measures power. But this design is going to use very minimal power. So why do you think you have to charge your phones all the time? Because it dissipates energy to make these circuits work. Now they are going to allow these neural network hardware or software, whichever way they're going to do it, that is going to dissipate less power. All right? So once you charge it, it's going to last longer. They're looking at all these things. Okay, so basically the researchers say this architecture's stability or ability to perform deep analysis could enable the processor to recognize patterns in the input it receives. Something today's systems are not good at. This could help with tasks such as image recognition. So, within the brain, neurons can communicate with many other neurons, which enables them to carry out complex actions. With traditional, here's what it's saying, with traditional computer chips, With traditional computer chips, on the other hand, a transistor directly influences only the next transistors to which it's wired, which limits the system's capabilities. It's possible to program the processor software to exhibit neuron-like behavior. However, the incompatible hardware architecture makes the approach inefficient. You following, Mr. Barr? You following all this, right?
Always.
Here you go. True North has 4,000 cores, each with communications hardware and circuitry that acts like 1 million programmable neurons that can establish 256 million connections among themselves. It's almost finished, but it sounds sci-fi, right? All right, remember last week I spoke about permutations, factorial? Each core has 100,000 bits of memory that can store information like a neuron state and the addresses of the neurons from which it receives signals and to which it sends transmissions. The chip's many circuits aren't as fast as those on today's typical computer processors, but they handle calculations in parallel, allowing them to offer high performance. Parallel is nothing but processing that's being done simultaneously through interconnected networks. Things are happening at the same time. But what do they say about the human brain? You could hold probably 7 different things at one time before you forget it. That's why they tell you, write things down, right, Ms. Contella, write it down.
Yeah.
All right, only,
I don't know, I gotta write it down.
Well, unless you like Biggie Smalls, you can smoke a cigar and rap, hold a Glock with this hand and got three females on this side, and you got a crown in your head, you gotta make sure it don't fall down. Oh man, I'm getting that out to the world because I was at his platinum party, all right? All right, here we go. So, where are we? Traditional chips run all the time, but True North is event-driven and thus operates only when needed. This reduces energy use and heat production. I was just talking about, right? Only when you need to use it does it come into operation. Otherwise, it's just laying there quiet. Thus, True North has 5.4 billion transistors, but consumes only 70 milliwatts of energy. The same as a hearing aid. When people got hearing aid to increase the volume. Today's computer chips have 1.4 billion transistors, but consume far more power, or 35 to 140 watts. The scientists say their new chip could scale perhaps enough to create a neural supercomputer.
See, I said that, supercomputer.
I know. DARPA, or the Defense Agency for Research, Project Agency, funded the research under the agency Systems of Neuromorphic Adaptive Plastic Scalable Electronics, or SYNAPS program. IBM has not said whether or when it might make the new chip available commercially. And this was in 2014.
Synapse.
This is amazing how this thing is working. Okay, so class, you can turn it off now, Ms. Green.